with and associate the public route table with the public subnet. Now we have this, and we have the internet gateway at the. We need to make sure that the public subnet is able to receive access to the internet. We do this by adding an internet gateway at the route table for the public subnet. Okay, so technically the public subnet, a public route table which allows the instance to access the internet, whereas any instance in the private subnet will not have access to the internet. Let's create our EC2 instance. Okay, this is where we create the instance. Let's call this. Choose the default VPC workshop. Let's make sure that the instance is parked at the correct VPC. This is a public subnet. Associate the public IP address. Call this facing security. What this does is it creates an ACL access control list for your instance and allow access to specific IP address that you set. This is extremely good if, let's say, you just want the instance to be only accessible by within your own network. Okay, I'm gonna skip this because you cannot see my IP address public. Okay, I might make it anywhere for time being. Let's launch this. While this being launched, let's launch another one at the private subnet. Let's call this private instance in Amazon and make sure that it is located within the private subnet so that it shows that it's not accessible to the internet. Let's call this. For these two instances being launched, let's look at what our diagram shows. So basically, we created a route table, we created a public subnet and a private subnet within a VPC network using class A IP address. We also allow the public subnet to have an internet gateway which allows the instance to have access to the internet. And all we have to do right now is to prove this theory that whatever I've done works. Let's refresh. Okay, good. So right now they're all working. Let's do a connect. Okay, they are still being connected. And I'm back. I'm still waiting for the instance to be able to connect the browser, but I'm still having issue connecting. However, I noticed that we can actually connect it within my PC itself. So so now we're in. So as you can see, this is 10.2.25, and we are in which instance? We are in the public instance 10.2.25. Okay, so right now our SSH in to my private subnet, which is 10.2.2.81. So technically, this instance in the private subnet shouldn't be able to access the internet and shouldn't be able to do an update at all. So looking at the picture, we have already created both instances in the public and private subnet, and only the instance in the public subnet is able to access the internet. But what if you want to allow the instance in the private subnet to be able to access the internet only for updates? Well, what you do is you create a net gateway. You create a net gateway and you put it inside the public subnet, and you link up the private subnet to the net gateway. And this will allow the net gateway to access the internet to pull the updates. Okay. Just put it in the public subnet and assign the elastic IP address, which is a public. So now we have to configure the route table in the private subnet, the net gateway. Okay. So now we have this. We should be able to access the internet. Okay. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, now that the status of this net gateway is available, we can now do two things to our private subnet. We can ping to the internet and we can do a update. Well, I hope you are still around, and I hope to share more things like this. I hope to share more things like this with AWS and VPC, and hopefully through this journey I can be a cloud engineer. Thanks for watching. Bye.